Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about managing and building quizzes because I noticed that in Canvas you can of course just create a quiz, but I also would like the ability to use certain questions or quiz questions to pull in a test and perhaps even be able to pull random questions and also create a, let's say, get some questions for a specific activity and be able to pull those for a weekly quiz or something of that nature. So what I noticed in Canvas is that if you go to your quizzes, you go to this gear icon, you go to Manage Quiz Banks. So you go to that, and you see some quiz banks that I've created. You can just add a question bank and name it. Let's say you can name it Spanish 1, Week 1, Textbook Vocab or something like that. Or you can call it whatever you want. You can even make it say present tense verbs, or you can make it basic vocabulary. Either way you want to do it, and then just press enter, and then it's created. So you click on it, and you can add questions. And you click add questions, and you can pick, of course, all your question options are there. Multiple choice, true, false, fill in blank, fill in multiple blanks, multiple drop downs is really great. Matching is really great. So there's a lot of different possible questions here. Now, if it's going to be for a test, you might avoid the text kind of questions, just so you know. If it's going to be in a question bank, and you're going to have the, let's say on a test, you're going to have it pull a certain number of questions from this question bank. It might pull a text answer, an open-ended question like this, if you put this in the bank, of course. So in those cases, I would just add the question to the test that I wanted on, or the quiz or the activity I wanted on, not necessarily put it in a bank. So that's a big difference here. With the bank, you're getting things that can be pulled from a lot of different kinds of activities. So, for building my question bank, I would choose a multiple choice, true, false, fill multiple blanks, and drop downs. So great matching is really good too. And just put a description in here so you know what you're dealing with. Let's say if it's matching, I'll put match the English and Spanish equivalents, or you could say match the words and images. You can do that. Of course, I'm not sure if the would allow you to add an image right there. I have to look. I think it may allow you to embed an image, but I have to check that out. Anyway, so you match words and images, let's say, and then you're going to put in your questions in there and so forth for matching. You can add more over here, of course. This is just for matching. You can add distractors if you like, and then update the question. Now, that one's in the bank now for the week 1 textbook vocab. And so what I can do then is go to quizzes, and I'm going to create a quiz for, let's say I want my week 1 quiz, and I want it to pull from the banks instead of just making it the same type of question that everybody's going to get, the same kind of quiz everybody's just going to get. I'm just going to quiz for the different kind of things throughout the week. Well, then I just name it. I'm just going to put week 1, let's see, unit 1, week 1, quiz 1. And of course I got to put in if I want the answer shuffled, if I want a time limit. This is a good idea because you might have students just begin a quiz and then look up things and all that kind of stuff. So you limit the time, say 30 minutes or something. I like to allow multiple attempts because this way students can try it again and it'll keep the highest score and they could try a couple times. This lets them see their incorrect responses, but you can you can limit how they see that. And then you can also put a day on there so that they can't see the answers until a certain day if you want. You can also have it show one question at a time, and then you can also lock the questions after they answer so they can't go back. They have to answer the question, then go to the next one. So depending on what you want to do, you can do this. You can also change this at any time in the future. Usually not going to use this, especially for a quiz, and certainly not filter IP addresses. That's not really important. Go to due date, because that way it'll show up on the student's calendar. Go to due date. Let's say it's week 1. So let's see, what's that going to be? I'll put September 10th because I know the week starts on that Tuesday the 5th. I got week 1 there. So I want it to end on Sunday. The way I want to do it is Monday 12 a.m. through Sunday 12 p.m. Sunday, Sunday 11:59 p.m. Alright, and so now availability, I'm going to make it, I wish they would adjust the availability to the due date, but let's put, we're on September 4th, right? So it's 12 a.m. September 4th, so it'll be perfect. And then I'm going to have it available until the 10th, so it's the same time it's due. Alright, so I'm going to choose that. And then I'm going to push save if I want to, or then I could just go to questions. Now I can just type in a question with new questions here. I'll also go to question group, and this is where my test bank stuff is going to be useful here. So I'm going to link to question bank and see it has my Spanish week 1 textbooks. Yeah, I have 1 question there, so I'm just going to use that. Select bank, and then pick 1 question, pick how many ever questions I want from that. Of course, I have 1 question there, so it's not really going to work to put in something greater than 1. But I can make it pick 5 questions out of 10, 5 questions out of 20, 5 questions out of 50, whatever I have in that bank. And then create group, and then what it will do is student takes a test is going to pick one question in this instance. It's going to pick that question from this bank here. You can always edit it, or I can delete it. Now, what if I have a text question I want to add that everybody is going to get? Well, I'm just going to go to new question, put my question in there, maybe put a text, write the answer, yada yada yada, okay, and then the student just submits it, and then I push update, and that is my question that everybody's going to have on the test. But if it uses a bank, not everybody's going to get the same kind of question. It'll choose from the series of questions, so that way it's a little dynamic. So I can always go in and edit that, and I can put comments if I have some kind of multiple choice question. This is really useful. Let's say I want the word dog in here. I have the correct answer, and I'm going to put in a few other words, and then see I can make a comment so that student gets feedback, and this means cat or something like that, right? And then click done, and it'll save the comment that I made. So a student gets this wrong, they can see what they did. So that's a great way for students to get feedback right away. And I would suggest this for all your questions, or most of your questions. It may not really fit for every single question you have, but most of your questions would be a really good tool so that they can get their own feedback and they can work through that and then take the test again, but they may not get the same exact question. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Anyway, so I'm going to update that question, and here it is. So I have now added a question to the word bank, and so I would certainly recommend we use these word banks in tandem with just adding questions, so you can really customize your assessments. And also I can see how we can certainly use this for unit testing, where we have some students don't really know what kind of questions exactly they're going to get, so answer keys are really going to be difficult for students to develop. And also we could still have questions that every student's going to get anyway, and we can create that in there. So let me just go to one of my quizzes and I'll show you what I did. Actually, I'm just going to go to my, I just created a Unit 1 test, even though we talked about keeping it at Omega. I just wanted to test this out and see what it would be like. So this is what I got. I got 30 questions here, 3 points, limited it to 60 minutes, gave it 2 attempts. I'm going to edit this and show what I have. So under questions, this is what I have. See, my first group here, it's from my Michelle Thomas Week 2 for Unit 1, and it's going to pull 5 questions out of that. The students don't know which 5, I don't know what 5 they're going to be for that student. And on the Week 1, Unit 1 Week 1 Michelle Thomas, they got 5 out of that. For the Unit 1 Week 1 textbook vocabulary, they are going to have 5 questions. For the Week 2, it's 3. Week 3, Michelle Thomas, 7 questions, and Unit 1, Week 3 textbook vocab is 5. So then, of course, if I want to, I can just add a new question here, and every student that takes the test will have that question. If I'm using it here, it depends on how many questions total are in the bank. But this way, I could pull from the whole unit, and these are questions that students have seen before, that they've worked with before, material that they have had before. They just don't know exactly how it's going to work out. They don't know which ones you're going to test on. So I would really recommend using these banks. Go back to your question banks. You can go to unfiled questions, or if you've created a question bank for anything, go to unfiled. You can see how you have all these questions from, that I've made for the course so far. There's matching here, things like that. You can go to move and copy question to another bank, and that's really useful. You can choose which bank you want it to move to. You can have it keep a copy or delete it from this bank and add it to the other one. Maybe it's in the wrong bank or something like that. Of course, you can create a new question bank as well, and it's really useful. This is great. It saves a lot of time, and you can really build really effective assessments this way.